Hello, hello. I hope you are well. Just trying to pull this all together. I wanted to give you guys a minute or two to go get this sheet. Very convenient sheet so you can follow along. Actually, I'll turn this light on too. That'll probably make it easier to see. But over on, I put the link in the chat, and I'll put it in the description here afterwards. And but basically it's on my Patreon. It's free. It's for the public. But with this sheet, you'll be able to follow along what we're going to go over today, which hopefully is going to help explain some of what's going on and what to look out for in future. And it's going to just give you some knowledge that you can use to help yourself and your family. And maybe you'll be able to sleep better at night. Hello, everybody. All right, let me switch this to the highest quality so I can make sure that things are, okay, things are, turn this just a tiny bit. There we go. So everyone can see. All right, okay. Hello, hello, hello. Also, thank you so much to our moderators. This absolutely would not be possible without you. You make this possible because, you know, by all the keeping us safe from all the bad people on God's trolled earth. So, okay. All right. Also, I just wanted to say quickly that I got a lot of criticism a long time ago when I wore these nails, and today I just decided, oh, heck with it. I'm wearing them. I don't care. I call them my sparkly barnacles. So anyway, just thought I'd share. Yeah, they're like 3D and sitting up, and I just felt like it. It's like, you know what? It's a sparkly barnacle kind of Sunday. Let's do it. So anyway, okay. What we are going on today is what we're going to go over today. That will hopefully help you is, that book is not relevant at the moment, but basically I created a graphic a while back, and I didn't redo the whole thing. I probably should, but I wanted to, I figured, you know what, let's walk through it, and then you could write in what you see and what you, thank you, and what you understand from this, okay? So this is just a sheet for free over, completely public, free, over on Patreon. It just goes from 1970. The first column is there's 1970, 80, 90, 2000, 2010, 2020, which is where we are. And there's a little bit of space, and then there are 3 lines below each one. Okay, so this is 1970 to 2029, and you can very easily build this yourself. This is not this is not complicated, but it just thought for ease, it's there for you. Okay, so now this is going to look very different at first, so I don't want to overwhelm anybody, okay? You don't have to like look at this and understand it, all right? Because we're going to go through it, and I'm going to draw on this simple page to make this make sense. And this is something I made a while ago, and I've printed it out on very glossy paper to make it as clear as possible, but it might just actually make it harder to read because it's glossy. But this is how I view time. You are in the safe hands of an art history major. I've always been big on history in general. I prefer art history to regular history. I'll say this. The reason I don't like studying regular history as much is because sitting through history classes, especially in college, it was literally battle, 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 king, battle, 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 new king, battle, 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 new king, battle. Oh gosh. Whereas art history, it was, this is what humanity created. This is how this person viewed the world. This is how this person creatively revolutionize things. And that may sound irrelevant, but it's going to be part of what we're talking about today. Okay? So, today on Astrology Sunday, this is how I view time in my head when I'm trying to remember things. Thank you, Dave. And it's just like, this is 1970. I know I don't expect you to be able to see every detail of this. Like I said, we're gonna go over the other thing. 1970, 71, 72, right, through 79. These are the 80s to up to 89. The 90s, 99. And then for the 20th century, the 21st century, and sometimes probably back through the, I guess about the 1600s, when we're talking about Shakespeare, around 1600. This is how I view, in my head, this is how I view time, because the first two decades of each of these centuries, 16, 17, 18, 19, and then now, I actually put these beside each other and I visualize them. So it's visually, it's not just one constant column. Why do I do this? Because I'm weird. Okay. And in this sheet that I didn't do it on this sheet because I understand this is crazy making. This is just a weirdness of mine. Okay, so, but when I made this, I was, going through my own head and visualizing things. So I created this double line here. You don't have to. I made this in 2018. It says you are here. Okay, so what this is showing is these colored lines down here, like this red one here. These are the outer planets, and that's really what we're talking about today. Lynette is saying, please tell me you're also a spreadsheet nerd, Autumn. Of course I am. Are you kidding? Come on. With my Scorpio sun in the 6th house of Virgo and a Saturn on my ascendant, on my Gemini ascendant, yeah. Oh, spreadsheets. Oh, tables. My friend makes fun of me. My best friend Sarah. She makes fun of me because she's like, oh, is it going in a table? She likes it. She thinks it's funny, but she likes organizing too. But I'm always putting things in tables. Anyway, each of these lines, the bottom line is Pluto because it's the farthest out. And then you have Neptune and Uranus. So on the planets going out, Earth, if I had, I could put all the planets here if I wanted to. And it would be Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. But here's Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. Okay? So, cat, Gemini ascendant too. It is a burden we must bear and tell people about because we're Gemini ascendants. Okay, if you'll notice on this sheet, I've got the main area and then 3 lines. Okay, and this bottom line's going to be for Pluto. Line before, so Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. Okay? All right. Now, like I said, this looks a little confusing at first, but just hear me out. Okay? Seems many of us are similar. Yes, you will find in general when you are, if you're drawn to a certain group, if you are a part of a certain group, if you become a fan of anyone, musician, actor, whatever, you will generally find the bigger, the happier you are there, the more that you, that person you're all a fan of, and all the fandom have similar astrological traits. Not perfect, but generally. Oh, Melanie, art history minor here. Yep, it's up to us to save the art history. Anyway, all right. So, rather than try to really drive you guys crazy with this, going to take this sheet. I'm going to grab my handy dandy Sharpie. I'm not going to use the red one. And these are not the nails to use to try to dig a Sharpie out, because I don't want to use the red one. Let's see if the black one works. And that's red as well. Okay. And if anybody's new around here and you're wondering why is it why is it called black and orange? Mr. Pumpkin's here to tell you it's because of Halloween. We love Halloween around here. Thank you, Mr. Pumpkin. You're but I'm on camera. I almost never get to be on camera. I know, and they like you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Okay, guys, let's learn some astrology. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Pumpkin. Thank you. Okay. All right. I'm also nuts, if you haven't noticed. So anyway. Okay. All right. Now, the reason we're looking at the outer planets today is because what the outer planets are doing very much explains the zeitgeist, what everybody, kind of the bigger forces that are going to affect society. It's the inner planets that are moving much more quickly. Those are called the personal planets because, when Mercury, about the most inner planet as you can get, when Mercury goes retrograde, you know how communication is kind of messed up and muddled and breaks down a little bit. But that happens more often just on a personal level. Oh my gosh, Texicon is saying, I have Mr. Pumpkin's twin at my home on my desk in a pencil holder. They're identical twins. How cool is that? Mr. Pencil, you have a twin. He's very excited, I can tell. Anyway. So, that's more on a personal level. And the outer planets are, what they're doing will affect society, the world, your country. And so, it will also, I thought this was interesting, and I think you might find it interesting, it also affects, especially Neptune, where Neptune's going. As it changes sign, it tends to affect Neptune. One of the many things Neptune rules is film or books, entertainment, basically. Harry's mom's asking, do you think Mercury is a planet to watch for the C19? Actually, it isn't. But Dave's asking, will Trump make it through Saturn and Aquarius? Well, let's hang on, everybody, hang on. All right, we're going to go through this, and then maybe let's just go through this, okay? So, Pluto is, I've explained this before, Pluto is the plow. It hits a sign and it just starts digging, it just starts creating a furrow in the field. And anything that is not already strong and established, like a tree, it's just going to get knocked over and thrown hither and yon. And what sign it's plowing through is going to determine what kind of muck and ugliness it's going to be able to pull out from underground. This is obviously a metaphor. So I'll just use the back of this. All right, let me just write this. All right, that is Pluto. All right, that's luckily the symbol looks like a P and an L. That's the most commonly used one. Sometimes you will see, oh gosh, it's like circle, that. Sometimes it looks like that, but it can get easy to confuse it with Mercury. So most people just use it looks like a P and an L for Pluto. Okay. And this is, you can think of it as, like in these areas, you can think of it like a plow. Because when we talk about what in your personal chart, it means very different things. But as it transits Okay, and a transit is where it's moving in the sky right now. Pluto is the plow. Okay, and forgive me if I'm off slightly, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I want to say in was it 1913 or 1914? Pluto entered Cancer. In 1939, Pluto entered Leo. There are some other things. In 1984, I think it was, Pluto entered Scorpio. Okay, and 1996, Pluto entered Sagittarius. And in 2008, Pluto entered Capricorn. And something to keep in mind, in 2024, Pluto is going to enter Aquarius. Okay. Now looking at these, make sure you can see that. Gosh, what happened in, it was 1913 or 1914, but gosh, what happened in 1914? Gosh, what happened in 1939? Are those important? Did anything happen? Yes, the Stinger Scorpio. Did anything happen in those years? Gosh, I can't remember. Yeah, this would be World War I. This would be World War II. And Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. Did anything happen in 2008? Like, I don't know, the collapse of the housing market, and if not for some people twisting arms in New York City and Washington, D.C., the entire financial market may have completely collapsed. Yeah. Someone's asking, hey, where's Pluto in Virgo? I skipped here to here because time is limited, but obviously it moves from sign to sign to sign to sign. When we talked about, okay, I am really bad at drawing circles. Close enough. There are 12 zodiac signs. So in the circle of planets around us, circle of planets. Oh, it's that kind of day. The circle of constellations around us. Or you have all right, there's the Earth, and right in a ring from where we're looking, if you look straight out around, there are all these constellations, okay? And all of those constellations are the different zodiac signs. And because, yes, stars are moving, but since the signs are, they don't move that much, they don't change that much, you can actually go around and look at the different signs, and Scorpio would be up here, and depending on which way you're looking, obviously, but they all sit in the same area. And so when we look at an astrology chart, which has all these little wedges, that's what this is. It's looking out. And we have, and so that's why you get, you know, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, because they're all in Cancer, Leo. And this is a basic thing you can learn so that you'll understand more of astrology. Oh, good old 6th house Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay. So when Pluto entered Cancer, you can think of it here, because that's roughly, it gives you a rough idea of where it was. Here. So in 1914 it was in Cancer. In 1939 it moved on and entered Leo. Okay, so I just skipped up here to, I skipped these and I went to 1984. It entered Scorpio, which is here. 96 it entered Capricorn, which is here. No, Sagittarius, which is here, sorry, and then Capricorn in 2008. And then in 2024 it will enter Aquarius. Okay, so that is, it's just working its way through the signs. And the other thing, it's maybe not as quite as important, but just so you know, the thing about Pluto is, pretend this is the sun here, and you know we have all these planets that are circling the sun. Right? Circle, circle, circle. Pluto is it's been downgraded from a planet, and it actually has more of an oval. It's more like this. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but it's more of an oval. And what happened in where these, it's not like it happens at regular intervals. There's slight differences in the number of years it stays in each sign. And one of the reasons the early 20th century was just so crazy was because it was in this narrow area here. Pluto was in this very narrow area. And a matter of fact, it was so far in 1999, Pluto was actually closer to the sun than Neptune. So, yeah. So it went through these quite quickly, and then as over the next century or two or whatever, it's going to be Pluto's going to sit in different signs for longer periods of time. Oh, God, I'm not sure which is worse. So, anyway. So this is what's going on. You can think of, in 1939, think of Leo, it's the sign of kings. And the sign of kings who, in a sense, are dictators. I mean, we think of today, it's like, oh, Queen Elizabeth. No, no, no. Back in the day, kings were dictators. Absolutely. And so Pluto hit Leo and said, it looked around and it was like, huh, what's the biggest, ugliest rock I could kick up here? Who's the nastiest dictator? Oh, hello, Adolf. And in Scorpio, which rules, one of the things that Scorpio rules is sexuality. 1984, Pluto entered Scorpio, and in 1984, that is when they finally isolated and were able to name something called AIDS. Okay? In 2008, Pluto entered Capricorn, and Capricorn, which we're dealing with now, this rules skyscrapers. It's aristocracy. Its symbol is half mountain goat. And if you think about, the thing about mountain goats is, I'm just going to draw something here like this, okay? If you think about a little mountain goat, what can they do? They find these cliff faces, and they are extremely well designed and very good at finding little tiny little footholds. And that's why you'll see mountain goats that are like way up in the air on these cliff sides. And it's like, how did she get there? How's she going to get down? What is that? Right? Well, that's one of the reasons why Capricorn rules skyscrapers and hierarchy and who's above everybody else. It's also the sign of the workaholic. This is not easy. This is hard. This is hard stuff for them. So it's interesting that Pluto going through Capricorn, it looked around and it was like, huh, well, Obama's not much of an ugly rock. So we'll just wait. And then lo and behold, once Obama's out, Pluto's looking around at Capricorn. He's like, okay, well, I'm going to be looking at the rich people because it's about the hierarchy. Who's rich, who's not. Because in America, it's like, oh, we don't have a class system. Oh, yes, we do. Absolutely we do. It's based on money, not title. Or the title is millionaire, billionaire. Those are our dukes and princes and what have you. So it said, aha, biggest, ugliest rock in Capricorn. It's Donald Trump. He's got money. Well, he says he has money, but he could be conning the system. And yeah, let's look at that. And so, in a sense, whereas Pluto found Adolf in Leo, it found Donald in Capricorn. Okay, so I'm not saying that all, everyone with money is bad or anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that this is the plow as it's going through. Okay, in 2024, Pluto is going to enter Aquarius. Aquarius is the humanitarian sign. Humanitarian. Let me write this down. It is the water bringer. That's even its symbol. Is you'll often see the symbol of, if it's either a person with like a jug of water. Pretend that's a jug. I said I was an art history major, not an artist. But all this water flowing out. You'll sometimes see symbols for Capricorn that look like that. Water flowing out of a vessel, because it's the water bringer and it's giving an equal amount to each person. It's not like Cancer, which is the big mom of the zodiac, which is going to have her kids and is going to do everything for her kids. This is the water bearer to an equal amount to everybody. So it rules humanitarian issues, but its planet is Uranus, which looks like an H with a little dot at the bottom, little circle. And you can think of, it was discovered by a man and his sister named Herschel. And so you can think of that. But also, if you look at it, it looks a little bit like those old-fashioned TV antennas that people had on their houses. And Uranus rules the media. Uranus. Okay, and that will help you with that. Donald Trump, yay, we're talking about him. He has his sun conjunct his Uranus. At least I think he does. Oh my gosh, I'm just doing this off the top of my head. I'm pretty sure he has his sun conjunct Uranus in Gemini. Now I'm curious. Donald Trump astrology chart. Sorry, guys. Yeah. Yeah. It's they're about his up in we were talking about this. Well, this can, in your own chart, this can change. So this is your rising sign here, called your ascendant. And that can change depending, okay? Trump has his, think of it this way, because it's up in the, according to this, it's in the 11th house. But I think it should be 10th, whatever, doesn't matter. We've got Uranus at 17, at 18, but let's just go with the big number, 17 of Gemini. He has his north node at 20 Gemini, and he has his sun at 22 Gemini. Okay? Communication. Gemini is all about communicating. My oldest sister is a Gemini. She was literally a communications major in college. Gemini, which is the 2, symbol that looks like a 2. Gemini rules communication. His sun, his core, right? These are all very close together. They're 30 degrees in each sign. And if these were small planets, it would still, 5 degrees is usually the outer limit on how planets affecting each other. But the sun and the moon have wider, it's called an orb. It's the space around something where things will affect each other. And it's got the moon and the sun has 10 degrees on either side. So anything from 12 to 2202 of the next sign, if this is at 22, anything like that, it's going to be affected by it's going to affect the sun or be affected by the sun. So media is key to what Donald Trump is. Communication is key to what Donald Trump is. And interestingly enough, your north node is the general area you're supposed to go in life. It's almost like we get down here and you get like a work order. It's like, here, you're supposed to work in this direction. He's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's in communications. He's just using it at incredibly low vibration and doing a lot of damage. So this explains a lot of why he's so focused on the media and why he wanted to be in the newspaper more than anything, and he would pretend to be his own PR person, and he would, he is focused on this, okay? So back to this, when Pluto goes into Aquarius, I'm always afraid I'm going to come back during Astrology Sunday and there'll be like nobody watching. It'll be like everybody fell asleep. But he is good at lying. He has Pluto square Mercury, but he has Neptune square Mercury, but that's a different thing. Okay. So in 2024, Pluto is going to go into Aquarius. It's the humanitarian side, the media. It's Uranus, it rules there, and it's technology. And that is why sometimes if you are an Aquarius or you know an Aquarius, you know that they often get made fun of for being kind of quirky. Or at the extreme end, you have someone like Zuckerberg, he's like a robot. And to the best of my knowledge, I want to say he's Aquarius. Zuckerberg. Oh no, he's not. I take it back. Oh, he's 5'7". I didn't know that. Taurus. No, he's a Taurus. I wonder what the rest of it looks like. But generally, there's a robotic quality. It might be Lucienne saying, "I'm an Aquarius. I fit in nowhere." Bingo. That's what you get. So I'll have to look. Is his moon in Aquarius? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The point is, it rules technology, humanitarianism, and the media. Okay. So that's why I always say in 2024, what is going to start plowing up is this kind of stuff, which I always think about. I don't know. I don't know. And the thing about Uranus is ruled by, Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. And Uranus is bolts out of the blue, so you never know exactly how it's going to play out. It's like, that's by design. It's what it does, is it bolts out of the blue. So it's like, I think this is going to happen, but you can, it's like you can't know. It's weird. It's also annoying because it's hard to plan. But this is why I've been saying that in 2024, I'm going to, one of the things I might worry about a little bit is viruses. And you think, oh, you mean like the virus you're dealing with now? Computer viruses, the internet going down. It might be human viruses with humanitarian issues, but this is going to go test. Pluto's going to come in and it's going to test these issues, okay? In the same way Pluto, since 2008, has been testing high finance, our hierarchy. I mean, it came in and people who had so many mortgages that they shouldn't have, they couldn't afford, they were roped into balloon payments they couldn't afford. It was like I want everyone to be housed. I'm just saying that the mortgage contracts that people were roped in before this were unsustainable. And so when Pluto hit Capricorn, it just started plowing through, and like I said earlier, if it's not established, if it's not stable, if it doesn't have a firm foundation, if it's not the tree that has deep roots, deep solid roots, it's just going to plow right through it and just knock it. So that is the planet in astrology we are currently using that is the farthest out is Pluto. So as it's going through, this is what we're dealing with, okay? And in this sheet, which I know it's hard to read, but we have, well, that was the other thing. Do you know what Obama was? In 2008, we got Obama being elected at the beginning of the Great Recession, but we had Obama being elected. What is more disruptive to the hierarchy that's established than an African-American man being elected president? I mean, that's why we got the Tea Party in 2010. They just couldn't, they were just freaking out. So that was disruptive. And then we got, oh yeah, Trump's elected. And then everything's really just gone nuts, okay? So that's Pluto moving through. 1972, Pluto entered Libra. And in a lot of the 70s, there was a lot of stuff about divorce. Wasn't Kramer versus Kramer? Wasn't that in the 70s? Or was it early 80s? But it was, I'm guessing Kramer versus Kramer somewhere between 72 and 83. So this is what these personal relationship, one-on-one relationships and marriages. It was disrupting all of that. And then in 84, it entered Scorpio, and we got it. So it was disrupting sexuality and death. And in 96, Pluto entered Sagittarius. Sorry, 96, 95, somewhere 95, 96. It entered Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius is travel. Sagittarius was travel and higher education, and it's travel, communication, things like that, where you're communicating. And well, the upshot is the reason I'm only focusing on those narrow areas is because I just wanted to point out, is when Pluto entered the Sagittarius, when it disrupted that, That's when the Unabomber was finally arrested. And these are the things that you can attribute to the outer planets will usually be things that we collectively know about. Most people know who the Unabomber was. And what did he do? He was, until he was arrested, he was making mail bombs. But he was trying to get his manifesto out because he was very intelligent. He was a monster, but he was very intelligent. And he was sending this manifesto, he was trying to get the manifesto published out in the world, in the newspaper, and he was mailing this destruction. Sagittarius. My father's a Sagittarius, and his favorite game is Go, and not the game with the little black and white tiles. No. It's Go, as in move, as in go. What's over the next horizon? What's over there? Wonder what they're doing over there. I have my Venus in Sagittarius, and I'm always drawn to foreign music, foreign people, what's over there? What's this? What's that? I'm looking for better ways to do things. That's Sagittarius, okay? So those are these outer planets. And if you are back here at the little sheet I made up, then you can say this bottom one would be like 72 Pluto entered Libra, which looks like a scale, the symbol for that. 84 Pluto entered Scorpio. Let's say 95, 96, somewhere around there. Pluto entered Sagittarius, and 2008 Pluto entered Capricorn, and in 2024 Pluto is going to enter Aquarius. All right, so things that happen in these areas will be affected by. All right, so that's a way to look at, buffering. Oh, I hope you can still see. So that's how you can look at what's happening in the zeitgeist. Because after, 2024, there's a point after that, Pluto's going to enter Pisces. And it's going to affect everything related to Pisces. Okay? So then we have, I won't go, I'm not trying to put you guys to sleep. Neptune. Neptune is, in the way that Saturn forms things and makes them solid and controls time, because you take something very amorphous like time, and he says, no, it has seconds and hours, and so this is Saturn forming things. The opposite of Saturn is Neptune, which rules fog and fiction and everything that spirituality, everything you can't touch. People who, big movie stars, big time directors, they tend to have very strong Neptunes in their chart. And where Neptune is will often affect what kind of media we are going to be seeing a lot of. You know how I mentioned Kramer versus Kramer, which I'm just thinking of off the top of my. Now I'm curious. I've got to know what year this thing was. Oh, Kramer versus Kramer. What year was that? 1979. Perfect. Kramer versus Kramer came out in 1979. In 1979, you had Pluto in Libra. Okay, so so Pluto, whoops, Pluto's in Libra, and this is Neptune in Sagittarius. It went in 1970. All right, so Neptune, which looks like a trident, you know, Neptune's trident, went to Sagittarius. And in 1975, Uranus, because remember this is the Uranus line, went into Scorpio. Okay, so Kramer versus Kramer. Big movie. Everybody was talking about it. Okay, in 1979. Well, if you think about it, Pluto was disrupting Libra, and Libra is about marriage. It's about the personal relationships. It's about balance. Okay. I've mentioned Sagittarius, about what's over the next horizon, what's over there, what, you know, trying to learn more, learning more and more outside, right? I know there are exceptions. Hang on just a second. Excuse me. Oh. Sorry about that. I know there are exceptions, but Sagittarius isn't. I know there are exceptions. Let's put it this way. The people I have known who've been in like polyamorous relationships, who have open marriages, they tend to be, there tends to be a very strong Sagittarius thing. I'm not saying, thank you, I'm not saying everybody who is a Sagittarius is like that. I'm just saying if someone is like that, I usually look for Sagittarius because there's usually something really strong in their chart. So this is Neptune movies, fiction about possibly looking for other partners, kind of looking elsewhere, looking over the horizon, trying to go over the horizon, not staying where you are. And then in 75, Uranus. Some people actually they don't like the name Uranus because it sounds, in English, it sounds too much like something else. Some people will actually just call it Herschel. But Uranus, which is about bolts out of the blue, and it's about media, and it's about, it's really quirky. You think of it this way, Uranus is the only planet, it's actually, it got hit by something at some point. So it's our axis, you know, this is North Pole, this is South Pole on the Earth, right? And we're spinning around, da-da-da-da-da. And you go to Venus, and it's actually spinning backwards, but it's still, you know, this is the North Pole, that's the South Pole, and Mars and Jupiter, you know, for the most part. And then you get out to Uranus, and it's literally spinning on its side like this. It's just going around like that. And that's Uranus. It's quirky. It does different stuff. It does its own thing. Entered Scorpio, which is the sign of sexuality. Also, you know, death, the underworld, and intensity, and what have you. But it's interesting that when this movie was so big, disrupting, plowing through one-on-one partnerships, the filmic, fictional kind of world was looking at the broadening your horizons. And then bolt out of the blue with sexuality, death, intensity. And then you could put all those together, and you know, they start filming, you know, they start filming films before they come out, obviously. And you get something like that. Okay? In this book, this is a good book. I really enjoy this. I'm always finding new stuff in this. The Astrology of Film, it's edited because some different people wrote different things. But looking at the different, like, for instance, there's a really good thing in here on the matrix. And it talks about what's happening. And you can think of, I'm not going to go through all of this, but I will share this one line. Another expression of Saturn-Neptune square, which they were, which is an overload, a square is an overload, is the struggle between reality, Saturn, and illusion, Neptune. Cypher despises the world of Saturn, and Cypher will be reinserted into the matrix and forget everything, Neptune. Remember, it just dissolves everything, in exchange for giving information leading to the location and capture, so Saturn, location, capture, solid in your hand, of Morpheus. And one negative expression of Neptune is escapism. For Cypher, the daily grind of his life is so difficult to bear that he prefers permanent delusion. So when the Matrix came out in 1999, so right here, the Matrix, so rules, Saturn is rules, form, limits, squared in tension with, overloading, Neptune in Aquarius, which are, Neptune can be like dreams, and Aquarius is technology, so like in computers. So, we'll put this here. In 1999, because this isn't just outer planets, but it does involve Neptune. 1999, you had the Matrix. Okay, Neptune moved into Aquarius in 1998. Okay, and is there anything else here? Okay, so there was Saturn involved. Where was Uranus? Oh, Uranus was in 96. Uranus also entered Aquarius. So technology, because Aquarius. Pluto is expanding your horizons and going through disrupting that expansion of your horizons. Well, if you're in a computer simulation and you don't know it, and someone points it out, you're going to know that your expanded horizons are, your horizons are about to be expanded or dwarfed. Either way, they're going to be seriously disrupted. And remember Aquarius, the water bringer, which it looks these wavy lines, and it's a symbol of water, basically, moving. And a film about technology, humanitarianism, saving the world, and the media, and also bolts out of the blue. Boom. 99, the Matrix comes out. You've got Saturn getting involved as well, which gives things form, and that's the movie that hits the zeitgeist. It also used some technical things with cameras that were very new. Where you saw things happening very slowly from different angles. That was new technology that hadn't been used before. So you get this new stuff, some new bolt out of the blue. So you get the Matrix. So you can see how these outer planets can affect. Because in a sense, the movies that really, it can be a great movie, but maybe it's not appreciated until years later. But movies that come out and make a lot of money and make a huge splash, you'll usually find that they are related to what the outer planets are doing. And then there'll be some stuff closer in as well. So, and the last thing I'll mention here, in 2012, Obama was reelected. Boy, the establishment didn't like that, did they? Obama was reelected, but also the biggest movie in 2012 was dun dun dun, The Avengers. He made over $1 billion. I mean, it was huge, huge, huge. Okay, in 2012, let's see what was going on. Uranus, 2011, Uranus, media, technology, 2011, it entered Aries, the ram. Not to be confused with Capricorn, which is half a mountain goat. Aries is the first sign. The symbol even looks like the face of a ram, and with the horns. Okay, and Aries is the first sign. It is the warrior sign. It is it is when you are born and you cry out. It is the I am. It is the, Aries, god of war, ruled by Mars. Also, there's a god of war. And this of technology and just basically how things were done moves into Aries. Okay, now that was going on. Pluto was still in Capricorn. Okay, so disrupting the hierarchy. And in 2012, the same year that Avengers came out, Neptune entered Pisces. 2012. Neptune entered Pisces. Okay, we have the trident, and then that's the symbol for Pisces. It looks like an H, but with the center, the two sidebars squeezed together. But that's the symbol for Pisces. It is the last sign in the zodiac. It is said of people who have a strong Pisces or people who are Pisces, that in a sense, in the same way that Aries is, the baby that cries out, I am here, I am, I exist. Pisces, it's like the last sign, and it's almost like they've got one foot on the other side already. It's spirituality. We are just leaving the age of Pisces, which came into being about the time where you get, Jesus. It's kind of the time of Jesus is about the time that the age of Pisces started. And what is a symbol for Jesus? He was the fisher of men. An early symbol for Christianity was the fish. So that's Pisces. And Neptune's happy in Pisces, but boy, let me tell you, when part of the reason that us here in 2020, we're still dealing with Trump and his lies, is we are deep into Neptune in Pisces. Neptune rules Pisces. And what happens when planets go back, especially outer planets, go back into the sign that they rule, is it's great. They're really powerful. They're really happy. But I'm just going to write this down, Neptune. They kind of take their shoes off and walk around in their stinky socks and change into their grungy sweats and just kind of let it all hang out. Yeah, all right, that's Neptune, that's Pisces. Let me just write this out too. Uranus in Aries. Because I haven't used those two signs recently. Make sure you guys can see this. Okay, so that's what happened here. Neptune, when it goes into its own sign, it just lets it all hang out. It just goes to town. Okay, so Aries, warriors. Neptune, which is filmic, fiction, what have you, moves into Pisces. So it's just so strong there, but it also, Neptune and Pisces together, it rules illusion, like CGI, anybody? So CGI movie, a very, very expensive, insanely expensive movie, because remember Capricorn's all, all about the hierarchy, the money, the highbrows, of the earth signs. Taurus grows it, Virgo crafts it, Capricorn makes it expensive, usually while they're at work. So Pluto's coming through the hierarchy, disrupting the hierarchy, but also pulling on that whole. If you'll notice that clothes just in groups, for a lot of this decade here, even clothes people were wearing tend to be more muted colors, and it's all that energy. But then Uranus, bolt out of the blue, warriors, powerful CGI Avengers. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to go over today how these outer planets affect what's happening. And let me see what's next. Okay, in 2018, Uranus entered Taurus. And in 2026, Neptune will enter Aries. So you are here. You are here. You are here. This is what's coming. All right. And how that's going to play out, we'll have to think it. We have to talk about it. We'll have to discuss it. We have ideas of how it could play out. But it's something to keep in mind. And yeah, I don't have it marked here, but Uranus changes sign somewhere in here too. So things are going to change. And this can help give you a sense of kind of what's kind of the flavor of the era, okay, that you're in and where you're going, okay? If I might want to talk about it this week, but if not, I will definitely talk about it next Astrology Sunday, because unfortunately we're probably all going to be in quarantine where I am. Yeah, I'm in shelter in place. I'm in a place that has a shelter in place order. So I don't go out that much anyway, but yeah. But if not during this week, then next Sunday, we will go over the history of kind of like, oh my gosh, it's basically the astrology of why this isn't the plague, why this isn't the Spanish flu. And it has to do with different conjunctions that were happening at the same time. And now that you better understand what I'm talking about, it's not just like a random, oh, but this came together there and that came together and whatever that means. I'll be able to, hopefully after this, I'll be able to better explain how rare certain things are or how common they are, and why here, when we're dealing with things conjuncting this Pluto that's still in Capricorn, Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, what have you, usually Neptune is involved in huge pandemics. Neptune is happy, and Neptune is elsewhere. Neptune isn't in Capricorn. Where did I draw that thing? All right. Or sorry, yeah, Neptune is in Pisces. Of these, the 360 degrees around the Earth, right there, this is, these houses have numbers, and for some reason it starts at 1. The standard chart, it starts at 1. Aries is right there. I don't know why. It makes no sense it would start there, but it does. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th house, 8th house, 9th house, 10th house, 11, 12, ha 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 ha. All right, Capricorn's in the 10th house. It's in this little wedge of the sky, okay? All this stuff is happening at the end of Capricorn. Neptune is way over here. If anything, as it moves a little further forward, it might start aspecting this, but it's just an energizing, it's not, and Neptune's really happy right now. Unfortunately, Neptune is too happy right now, which is why this whole thing about facts matter, and it's like you're talking to a brick wall. Facts matter, facts matter. Nope. Facts are not super important in Neptune, in Pisces. So, yeah. Anyway, so it's not, this is all happening here. Neptune's way over here. Okay, so it's not involved in this. All right? And thus endeth the lesson. And I'm surprised I still have 119 people watching. I thought I would just assumed I'd lose everybody. I don't even know why I'm doing Astrology Sundays, because I don't know that many people are interested. But I'm interested, and I am happy to help anybody, especially when it comes to better understanding kind of where they are in time. Oranos, yeah, I agree. Why, baby, trying to pronounce that word is wow. His Neptune is square his Neptune. His Neptune is square aspect, which is 90 degrees. His Mercury, which I drew Pluto earlier, and I get them, so yeah, I just messed that up. And that's Neptune. And that's Mercury. Okay. Trump has his Neptune, the trident, square, 90 degrees, Mercury. It's the symbol for Mercury. It's like the symbol for Venus or a woman, but it has a little crown on. Mercury is communication. It rules Gemini. Remember we were talking about Gemini over here? Mercury rules Gemini. It's all about the communication. And that's why when Mercury, from our vantage point, looks like instead of going forward, it's suddenly going backwards for a while. That's why our communications suddenly personal communications go a little haywire. Okay? So his communication is, the 90 degree square is, some people say it's friction, some people say it's just bad. I don't think it's bad. I think it's an overload. I think there's so much energy there that I don't want to doom anybody who has squares in their chart to say, oh, it's the worst thing ever. Some people do. I didn't get into astrology until later in my life because I was interested in it and I liked it and I was drawn to it. But for years and years, the only astrology you could pretty much find was negative. You read these books and it's like, oh my gosh, you're doomed. And I'm not big on the doom. There are people who have squares who really harness the energy over time. They figure out how to do it and wow, it takes off. So, But his Neptune is square his Mercury, and he hasn't really come to terms with he hasn't really worked on the whole make this overload work, which could make him quite powerful. Instead, it's just an overload. So people who are not working on it, who are not evolved, who are not trying to evolve, when they have Neptune, fiction, illusion, overloading, Mercury, not empowering, not strongly empowering, not jolting it with, lots of volts, but actually just overloading it, you end up with liars. So, yeah. All right. Thus endeth the lesson, the very long, involved, hopefully okay lesson. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much. Thank you to our moderators. This is not possible without you all the great work you do. So, Why Baby saying astrology is a fabulous tool for understanding. And it is. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for putting up with this. Hopefully we'll keep doing Astrology Sundays. But the core message is you're in these big currents, and these things happen. And we're going to get through it, and then things will shift to something else. All right? You guys have a great Sunday. Hang in there. And then tomorrow I will be back. Same pumpkin time, same pumpkin channel. And I will I'll be answering your questions. I'll do the tarot readings, and we'll get through it. All right? Say goodbye, Mr. Pumpkin. Goodbye, Mr. Pumpkin. No, we're not doing the George Burns and Gracie thing. Who are they? You're very young. All right, guys. Have a good day. All right. Bye-bye.